Hi folks! So today's video, the long and short of it is there's no wrong way to play the game. This discussion has been happening quite a bit in the last couple of days on Twitter, and especially in regards to D&D, and I thought I'd throw in my 2 cents. And I think this also applies to things like miniatures, or if you're a miniatures person or a theater of the mind person, if you want to use the X card, if you don't want to use the X card. There really is no wrong way to play the game. There are certain tools and rule sets and stuff like that that you can use to make it more enjoyable for you and the people you game with, or make it easier, but they're tools, so you can use them or not use them. And, I mean, the no wrong way to play a game, that's what homebrew rules are. That's what house rules are there for. The one caveat I will put on it is there's no wrong way to play the game, but make sure that the people that you're playing with agree with you. So this is stuff that can all get covered in session 0 of the GM or DM sitting down and saying, here are the rules I want to use in this campaign. But this is also something you can bring as a player, you can bring up if there's a rule that you really find awkward to use. Ask your GM if you can use an alternative rule. If there's a tool or a method of gaming you really enjoy, bring that up. See if everybody else is interested in this. And if you find that your playstyle isn't the same as the playstyle of everybody else at the table, you can try and find a compromise. You know, if you're in a group that really enjoys doing theater of the mind, but you have difficulties visualizing the battles, that might be a situation of pull out the grid map or just a piece of paper and draw it out so that you have a good idea of what's going on. We've done this in Shadowrun a couple times where we haven't used miniatures for the campaign, but we've had 1 or 2 sessions where knowing where exactly we are in relation to everybody else was fairly important, so our GM just kind of sketched it out really quickly on a piece of paper, so we had that as reference. And ultimately, if you're in the situation of the way you want to play the game is not how everybody else you game with wants to play, it might be time to find a different group of people if you can't come to some kind of compromise or be able to set aside those differences. And that's okay too. You can still be friends with them, you just might not game with them all the time. And it's okay for people to have a different way that they want to play the game, especially if they're not people you're going to game with. Let them use miniatures, let them not use miniatures, let them use the X card, let them not use the X card, use an alternative to the X card, use D&D 5th edition, use 3rd edition, use a completely made up homebrew rule set, whatever you want to do. And I do enjoy the discussion of pros and cons and why you find one version of the game more enjoyable while somebody else might find another version more enjoyable, or debating how useful different alternative rules or tools are in the game. Those are really fun conversations to have. They stop being fun when people start name calling or telling people that they're wrong because they have a different opinion. That's just not cool. But ultimately, if you're enjoying the game and the people you're playing with are enjoying the game and it's not hurting anybody or upsetting anyone, go for it. Play the game you want to play. So talking a little bit about house rules and stuff like that, are there any house rules that you have that you find are really fun or that, that other people might want to know about and use? Let's talk about it down in the comments. Want to give a special shout out to our patrons, especially Sean, Lainey, and Arvi. If you're interested in becoming one of our patrons, getting some cool perks, and joining our campaign, you can go check out our Patreon. There'll be a link at the end of the video. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye! There's no wrong way to play the game. There's no wrong way to play the game. Use the rules that you want and play how you want as long as your group agrees. Yay! I'm a dork.